After days in which Labour politicians have lambasted BBC Match of the Day presenter Gary Lineker for publishing entirely reasonable comments about the Tory illegal migration bill on Twitter, party leader Keir Starmer has changed course radically. Mr Lineker said the rhetoric used by Home Secretary Suella Braverman was similar to that of Germany in the 1930s. He has since been shown to be right.
Is their language and rhetoric reminiscent of 30s Germany? Because that's what Lineker said. Nazi Germany rhetoric demeaned, otherised and dehumanised people and made them the enemy and the scapegoat of all its woes and attacked anyone who said differently as enemies of the people. Braverman has described refugees as an invasion. This week, out of nowhere, she suggested billions of migrants might be heading towards our shores. She might not have used the word swarm, but she may as well have done. And she suggested that to not agree with the government is somehow unpatriotic.
There is no stipulation in his BBC contract to suggest that he, as a sports presenter, should not be allowed to discuss politics on his own personal Twitter feed.
Here's the passage relevant to Lineker from that guidance. It says on the issue of impartiality that the risk is greater where the public expressions of opinion overlap with the area of an individual's work. The risk is lower where an individual is expressing views publicly on an unrelated area. For example, a sports or science presenter expressing views on politics or the arts. Is that not exactly what Gary Lineker did?
But Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper had this to say about it when she was interviewed on LBC after the row initially broke out.
Do you support what Mr Lineker has said in his tweets?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I think that was wrong. I think he was wrong to say that.
Because, if I can just ask you to expand.
So I just don't think you should make comparisons with the 1930s.
Fair enough.
So, look, we can have a debate about all sorts of different aspects and people will take different views about different aspects of policies and issues and so on, but I don't think you should make those sorts of comparisons.
Does he get a red card for that, Yvette?
I think that's a matter for the BBC.
Contrast her words with Keir Starmer's comment after the BBC suspended Mr Lineker from presenting Match of the Day, prompting a huge walkout by his fellow sports presenters that critically hampered the corporation's sports coverage and brought its decision-making into question.
They've got this one badly wrong, and now they're very, very exposed, as is the government, because at the heart of this is the government's failure on the asylum system. And rather than take responsibility for the mess they've made, the government is casting around to blame anybody else, Gary Lineker, the BBC, civil servants, the Blob. What they should be doing is standing up, accepting they've broken the asylum system and telling us what they're going to do to actually fix it, not whinging on about Gary Lineker.
This was just bandwagon jumping by Starmer. He saw an opportunity to hammer the BBC for pandering to Conservatives, and he took it, never mind the fact that he was speaking in opposition to his own shadow ministers.